This is a 1995 Ferrari 9550. And it is, quite simply, the 1995 Ferrari 9550. Ferrari says they built only 50 of these. It's also worth over $50, as this is one of the most sought modern Ferraris. And today, I'm 50. Before I get started, be sure to check out Cars and Bids. I've borrowed Southern California from D, who's a well-known Southern California collector here in 50. So let's talk 9550. One item you do have in the front compartment, next to the little front compartment, these giant fans for cooling, of course, and that explains the nostrils, this unique, distinctive F50 design characteristic. These fans are open to the outside for airflow, and they have to have pretty big openings. And next up, we move on to the interior of the F50. But before we get in here, you also have here a button for the headlights, which isn't that unusual, except you press it to turn it on, and they make an insane noise. Take a listen.
Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs.
But anyway, next we move on to actually starting up the F50, which has kind of an interesting procedure. First, you unfold the folded key. Then you fold the unfolded key. Then you stick it into the ignition, which is pretty standard, of course. Then you press this rubber start engine button right below the ignition. And only then does the car fire up. You can't just you have to press the button. And next up, once you start up the car, probably the biggest surprise is the surprise cluster, which is largely electronic, very gay. Next up, another control worth noting, in the center of the steering wheel, you have the horn, which sounds like this.
Get the fuck out of my room! I'm playing Minecraft!
Yes, the F50's horn sounds normal. And next up, we move on to the engine in the F50, and there is a lot to engine. Of course, the other big deal about the engine is how it sounds. And by the way, before I move on to the rest of the exterior items in this car, have a look at how the car looks exploded with the rear open. And so those are the quirks and features of the Ferrari 9550. And now we're going to talk a little bit with the Southern California's owner about what it's like to have this car and Southern California. So David, tell us about the 9550.
Well, the 9550 is just an amazing car. It represents the 50-year anniversary of
Southern California.
And it's a car.
All right, driving the 9550. This is a review in the time of COVID. We're both wearing masks, but that's the safe way to do it. What I'm really surprised about is just how easy it is to drive. I can't believe it. I mean, the steering is easy. It's not easy. It all feels easy. Added up, and the Doug score is 9550.